Hey guys, it's me Scratch House here, and we will be creating an online adventure game. You heard me right. So let's begin. So first, you want to follow my online game tutorial, parts 1 to 4, so that you'll be able to create this. So now next, you just drag these two sprites into the backpack. And now you make a new project, and now it's online adventure game. So let's take stuff out of the backpack. So here's just the sign up. This is our player sprite, sent cloud data, just the other players. Basically the online players. Those are people who will be on our screen. So yeah, right now there's only 4 people for me, so yeah. Oh yeah, and when you're backpacking cloud variables, I don't think they really work, so you have to delete them and then re-add them. So yeah, let me just quickly do that. Make sure to replace your cloud variables in the correct areas, because I just re-added these ones. So now I'm looking for here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Let me just test it out. Okay, so I just tested it out, it's working. So anyways, let's get started. Well, throughout this tutorial series, we won't be focusing on this, because all this does is just show the players on our screen. We don't need to do any extra coding for that. So I'm just gonna label this one. And then I'm going to make a simple level. Okay, this should be good. So when green flag clicked, we go to x00. In our level sprite, forever, go to back layer. As you can see, because of my tutorial, my player is going to my mouse pointer. So yeah, this is where we will put all our code. And I also added a speech feature in episode 3 of my online tutorial series. So we will leave this. Now first, let's broadcast hitbox, and then is player, and then finally costume, and then we'll add C speech here. So we'll now receive hitbox. Now a hitbox is basically how our player will hit different objects. So if our hitbox was like this, we just make it blue, it will only go to this score. This is how far we will get off the level, but this is what it will show. So let's label this hitbox. You can make it different for whatever you want it to be. So yeah. So it's costume 2 hitbox. Let's make a new block called move move, and then add an input of steps and then another label of steps. The move steps block, it doesn't do collisions and stuff, so we're going to make our own one which will allow us not to get through this level. So I'm just gonna make the backdrop blue, so like it's kind of like an island. So yeah. So for new steps, this new steps block is actually made out of this. So I'm just gonna put together the code. So this is how the move -10 steps works. I can just show you right here. So if I grab the custom block, it should pretty much do the same thing. Yeah, and move 10 steps. The same thing, point direction 0. Yep, that's it. So now to do the collisions, if we're not, no, if we're touching color blue, the background. So then what we want to do, so let's split this apart. So let's duplicate the change X here. Let's grab a minus operator. Grab the sin of direction times steps into the right hand side of the minus operator and put it back in the change X. And add a 0 for the left side. Now duplicate that whole script. And now let's replace them instead with change Y's. And instead of the sin, we'll do the cos, or the cosine. And now let's see how that works. Move 10 steps. It won't let us get off the island. So now, but we could also repeat, but as there's a little guy, we all got as close to it as possible. So instead, let's do repeat steps here. Now we'll move this divided by steps. So change X by the sine of direction times steps divided by steps. And then do the same thing for change Y. Now it should make us go close now. Yep, now we got as close to as possible. So now that we have that, let's, when I receive, move player. So instead of using this change X, we will point in direction. So let's grab it. If else's. If actually, let's make a variable called key X and key Y. So let's set in the move player. When I receive move player, we'll do set key X to right arrow press minus left arrow pressed, and then we set key Y to up arrow minus down arrow. So we can test that out by showing the variables. Okay, so as you can see, when I am holding the buttons, they will change their values. So you can test that out yourself for just right now. So if key X, the absolute value or the abs of key X is greater than 0, then if key Y is greater than 0, then that means we're trying to, that means if key X is greater than 0, key Y is greater than 0, that means we're trying to move right and up. So we want to point in direction 45 degrees. Then add another if here. Key y is less than 0. That is removing. So that means we're trying to move right and down. So instead of 45, we'll do 135. Then for the other part of the if else, here, times, and we'll add an if around this. So if the abs of key x is greater than 0, so let's add if else here. If key x is greater than 0, which means we're trying to move right. Else, if so, then okay, here. Just I don't know how to explain it, so just look over here. If as a key x is greater than 0, then if k x is greater than 0, point direction 90. If ky is greater than 0, point direction 45. It's just a lot, and it might be confusing if I just say it. So this part basically checks if our key x is greater than 0. So like if we're trying to move left or right. Else here we would do negative 90. So this code will determine like if we're moving up, down, while pressing left or right. So these are the values that you should put in. Now this is a really long script. So okay, let me just now let's move on to the key y code. So if abs of key y, now let's put that at the top here before the key x. So if abs of key y is greater than 0, if key y is greater than, you see this will just if we're moving up or try and move up or down. So if key y is greater than 0, I try and move up, so point direction 0. Else we point direction 180. Let's put this in the custom block called direction because this is a really long script. Oops. Direction. Now that we have it here, we can just place the direction block here conveniently, and then if abs of key y is greater than 0 and abs of key x is greater than 0, then we will move 10 steps. So this will determine if we're trying to move at all. So if you follow the tutorial right, it should be working like this. Oh, if abs of key x is greater than 0 or abs of key y. Okay, so now now we need to change back to our costume. So when I receive costume, switch costume to player. And now as you can see, we are the player. We are in our player costume. Sometimes when we hit the walls, we get a little bit lag, but it's good now. So anyway, thanks for watching. In the next video, we will be working on level progression. Please like and subscribe and share as it helps the channel. Hit that notifications bell and have a wonderful day. And let me just test this one more time. Okay.